Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Rockwoodness Podcast, where we talk to a super cool artist about how they started writing music, and they play us one of the first songs they ever wrote. We talk about what happened after that first song and what's happening now, with a lot of nostalgic asides about pop culture thrown in the mix. I'm your host, Rose Sean, and per usual, we've got my co-hosts with the Mo-osts, Terence LeClaire and Tony Tancredi. Today's guest makes dreamy lo-fi pop out of a spare bedroom in his Echo Park home, which I guess makes him a bedroom pop artist. Dreamy, definitely. Two of his early releases found their way to the HBO series High Maintenance, and several others to some very cool curated Spotify playlists. We talked to Tomemitsu about his elementary school cover band, math rock, the halcyon days of the LA indie scene circa 2011, and how geography is so much more than maps. Stay tuned to hear what happens when you swear in the middle school talent show, and how he got that warm analog sound on his first single, In Dreams. Please enjoy our interview with Tomemitsu.
Time management.
Well, like, I don't know if you know this, but Tony's about to be a dad, and I was like,
"Oh, congrats!"
I mean, he's already like everybody's dad.
Poor dad.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, I mean in the best way. But like, you know, Ryan Hahn was here earlier, and you know their bands toured together back in the day, and he was like, "Oh yeah, man, even back then, we knew if Tony was on the tour, like." We were going to get where we needed to go on time. We were going to get food. Like,
oh my God. Essential person.
Yeah. And now he does it for a living. And
Let's get to it. Welcome,
Martin. Thank you.
Welcome.
I feel embarrassed, but I don't know how to. Is it Tomemitsu?
Tomemitsu.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
So I had it just a little bit wrong.
Tomemitsu. That's how the
Tomemitsu.
cuts it down. Yeah. I don't know what it means. It's my middle name.
Oh.
It was my great grandfather's name on my mom's side, so that's where I got it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So your mom is Japanese?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Her parents moved from Japan to Brazil, and she was born in Brazil.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I don't speak any Japanese really, except for like sushi
Yet.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mostly I know a little bit of Portuguese.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, Japanese is really complicated.
A whole different alphabet.
Yeah.
I
And
can
plus they have
imagine.
like multiple versions of it too. So it's like, I don't know where you would start.
Another
So,
level.
would your mom speak Portuguese at home?
She would, yeah. She definitely tried to get us to speak Portuguese as kids, but we were very resistant. Like we didn't want to, or I don't know what it was. It was just hard enough to speak English.
Rebellion.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean,
no thanks.
also, like, did you even live somewhere where there would have been anyone else to speak Portuguese to besides her?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
She was the only one, and there's no Portuguese class in most public schools, I don't think.
Oh, I wouldn't
It's
think
trippy.
so.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in France, and at home we'd speak English when we lived in France, and then when we moved to the U.S., we'd speak French at home. So it's kind of like a switcheroo.
That
But
is
it's the kind of thing, if you don't practice it, you know,
Yeah,
like
it's so easy
kinda-
to
yeah.
lose or not keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't know that. Well, you know, just gotta keep those muscles
that
in shape.
muscle.
You know,
Work it
That's
out.
right.
that's great. Well, okay. So where did you grow up then?
Grew up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the South Bay, Mountain View, Los Altos. It's like where Google is.
Yes.
It's beautiful there, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's done a lot of changing since I grew up there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I mean,
huh?
even just like, I feel like the last 10 years, the Bay Area is like so different.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
different.
Yeah, and it's just like shocking.
It's a trip going home and seeing like how different things are. Because when I grew up there, it was just like super quiet, like some older parents and grandparents and like little kid families, and now it's like super international, and there's all these
yeah.
tech people there now. Yeah, yeah, it's like barely. I felt like it wasn't really the full Silicon Valley when I was growing up, though. I guess it really was like the start of it.
It's a
all.
very spiritual place too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, like my mom's a healer, and she would do a lot of work out there in Mountain
Oh,
View.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were kidding.
No, well, both. You know, I kid and I'm serious at the same time. It's kind of my vibe.
Well, I mean, just like the whole field of tech has expanded so much, so it kind of makes sense that like the
counter
epicenter
of
of it
that.
all would be like.
It's so different. It's really weird. I love LA, so I don't mind not going up there as much anymore.
Well, so how did, I guess, music start for you?
Well, my dad, he like is a jazz pianist as a hobby, and I guess he played in bands when he was in like high school and college. So he had a couple pianos in our house, and he tried to get us to learn piano as kids. So I think that's where it started. That in like church. He also played piano in the church. So
Oh,
we were
cool.
raised, like,
Did he play jazzy church piano or?
Sometimes, yeah.
when they would allow it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool,
yeah.
yeah.
Like Christmas service, he would try and do, like interpretations of songs
Nice.
like in his way.
I immediately think
that's
of like Charlie Brown. Like, is it that kind of like Christmas?
Definitely,
jazz?
yeah.
Like,
He would
oh my
usually
gosh.
play.
Why can't I remember his name?
Garibaldi?
Yeah.
Jazzy Christmas.
Yeah.
I love it. And you say he tried to get you guys to play piano. Were you resistant to that, or were you into it?
I mean, I think I was into it initially, but my younger sister, she's 2 years younger, she took to it much more quickly than I did and was like better than me. So I quickly was like,
This is
no,
stupid.
yeah, this is dumb. I don't want to play this.
Yeah.
And then my next step was to do cello.
Oh.
So my dad took me to one of those, like, it was like a weekend thing, and you got to try out like a trumpet, recorder, like some string instruments like violin and cello, like drums and all these different things. And the cello person was like, "Oh, you're a natural. Like, you're great at this." But I was
Nice.
just,
Yeah. Well,
they were just trying to be supportive, I think.
maybe.
I wasn't actually a natural.
The cello is such an amazing instrument. It's like kind of, even if he was just blowing sunshine, like how fortunate that you landed there.
Yeah, I'm definitely grateful.
And how old were you at that point?
I was like fourth grade, so I think I was like around 10, maybe 11 years old.
Oh yeah, that's like actually, that feels pretty early.
Yeah,
to
pretty
me.
early. Yeah.
So then were you like in an orchestra or something?
Yeah, I was in orchestra I guess I was still grade school at that point. Yeah. And then I kept doing orchestra all the way up until the end of high school. And I moved to upright bass once I got into high school. I
Oh,
moved up
okay.
there.
Wow.
The bigger cello.
I was going to say, did you have to buy a new car or? like,
We just didn't. I just wouldn't take it home. Like, I just used the one that was at the school.
oh, got it.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did have a electric bass guitar at that point.
Yeah.
Too, so
What
I mean,
kind? What kind?
I
It
barely
was,
even consider them the same instrument, to be honest.
Wait,
the electric bass and upright bass.
yeah.
Yeah. They're like. I mean, the notes are the same, but how you do it is
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
Fundamentally
different.
Frets and no frets, right?
Yeah.
Well, and
What
just
wait,
like
what
the
kind of bass? What kind of
physicality.
bass?
It's a Ibanez. I wish I could remember the
Yeah.
model number, but
The
it was like
red one or like
yeah,
yeah,
it was,
yeah.
with the black pick guard.
Yes.
But I didn't want that one, and that was the only one they had. So like 2 weeks later, I traded it back for the all black one.
Nice.
Yeah.
That one's more metal.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. More punk rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. So at what point did kind of like, I guess more of like pop music come into your life as
Yeah.
far as like being interested in creating it?
Well, since I had the cello in like fourth grade, and then I think maybe in fifth or sixth grade, my uncle gifted me this nylon string guitar that he had growing up, and so I started playing a little bit on there. And my friends in grade school wanted to start a band. We started one called Enough to Live On.
Yeah.
Cute.
My buddy Will, I was already like a good guitarist at that time, and my buddy Daniel had just got a drum set. So I was like, well, I guess I got to play bass guitar.
Nice.
So-
What kind of sound?
That's what happened to me too.
What kind of sound?
Yeah.
It was like we did some Sublime covers.
Nice.
We did
Yeah.
what's that Dire Straits song? We did that song. Just like a bunch of covers. you
Yeah.
know?
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a 3-piece. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 3-piece. One time we got our other buddy to come in and play guitar and sing too, because he was actually really into Sublime and probably why we started doing the Sublime cover band. And then oh man, we did I wish I remember the name of the song, but it's like there's some swear at the beginning of the song, and we did it for the Battle of the Bands in 6th grade. And like everyone went wild, and we were like, oh, we're totally gonna win this. And then after the song, the principal came out and like shunned us and like disqualified us from being in the Battle of the Bands. It was pretty
That's pretty
epic.
punk rock.
Yeah. I was like, okay, that's cool.
I think you kind of energetically won,
Yeah,
if that makes
exactly.
sense.
Yeah. Popular vote.
What was this Battle of the Bands that was in 6th grade?
There was a bunch of
you know
those
what? That was in 7th or 8th grade actually. The Battle of the Bands.
So it was just like a middle school battle
yeah,
of
it's
the
a middle
bands?
school Battle of the Bands.
Oh,
yeah.
that's so cool. I mean,
That's awesome.
I'm just like kind of shocked that there were like enough bands to have a battle at that age, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's probably like 4 or 5 bands that played that lunchtime.
Was that like Mountain View area?
Yeah, it was Block Middle School, which is in Mountain View. Yeah,
That's
Block
amazing.
Junior High
Musical
School.
town.
That's
I
so fun.
suppose.
So it was like the auditorium. Was it like
It was actually outside.
Yeah.
There was like a outside like stage for stuff like that.
and that
So-
was that like during school hours, like
It was
compulsory attendance?
That's why
well,
the
it was at
principal was
lunchtime.
there.
At
so
lunch, yeah.
okay.
My
If
school
if
had
you were
the same
cool,
thing.
you were watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Okay. So my high school band, and I remember we had to change some lyrics to the Tom Petty song we were playing. Oh, we couldn't say roll another joint. Fair.
Is that Last Dance with Mary Jane? Is that the song?
No, let's get
To the point.
Yeah. You don't know.
Yeah,
how
you don't know how it
feels.
feels. Yeah.
Be me.
Rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Anyway, so you got disqualified from the Battle of the Bands, which obviously ended any hope of a music career you ever had.
Hopes and dreams.
But it was enough to live on.
I do love that name, especially for like kids who probably don't really have to like think about living on anything.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's we always talk about on this show like it feels so real, the feels, and you have names like Enough to Live On, like super serious at that age, but like there's not really like the sort of like
Yeah.
storied history to
Yeah,
kind of
what do you know
draw
about
upon. So that's the brilliance of teen angst.
So,
Oh, yeah.
so how long did Enough to Live On last?
That was the end of Enough to Live On. Yeah, it's that they really stopped us from going.
Principal was there always, just looking at you like no.
We all went to different schools after graduating middle school, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
we parted our ways. And
Yeah.
new
Do you keep
bands
in
were
touch?
formed. Not really. No.
It was an era.
Like here and there, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Facebook
so
or
that was all
Instagram message.
covers.
Yeah, that was all covers. We might have had one original, but I couldn't remember it, and I wasn't part of the like songwriting at that point. But
When did you start writing?
Yeah.
when did I? Well, I guess I was trying to write, but not like real good songs. It's just like bass riffs. I was really
Nice.
into like Les Claypool Primus.
Oh, of course you were.
yeah.
and NOFX, as I mentioned
Yes.
earlier. So I had like some cool bassists to look up to. Rancid was another one.
Oh, yeah.
I loved
I can't
Rancid.
remember what that guy's name is, but
That bassist is great.
yeah, right.
He's
like,
wild.
super sweet
Yeah.
lines, and I was just trying to play as fast as I could, like get really good at picking really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of my songs, or like whatever I would try to write, was just like I would write. I remember I would like get a piece of paper, and then I would write the staffs for the what's it called? Tablature.
Yeah.
And like write the notes on the frets, and like, okay, I'm gonna try and write a song with as many parts as possible. Like 26 parts. That's so cool.
Of course. Yeah.
So I'm glad that I can't remember those songs.
Well, it was an exercise, you know,
Yeah.
like you learned a lot, I'm sure.
You got to learn some way.
So then did you like start a new band in high school?
Yeah, and then in high school, started a punk rock band called Ground Zero with my buddy Steve, and that was like it was Ground Zeroh, and I said the H is for hardcore.
Yeah.
That was our thing. And we
Cute.
like made cassette tapes, you know, like to sell to our schoolmates, and
Hell yeah.
that was fun. Yeah, that lasted for a couple years, and then I started getting more into like screamy kind of music, like Screamo stuff. And then I
Like
started.
you singing or
Yeah, I did some screaming, singing. Yeah,
nice.
we started a band with the same basic format of dudes. This guy Steve and Ryan and Chris, and it was called Atriata.
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 How do you spell that?
Atriata.
Okay.
influenced
Yeah.
by Atreyu by any chance or no?
It might have been
coincidence?
before Atreyu even.
probably
actually.
was,
Yeah, probably.
At
Yeah,
that
good
point.
point.
Though, I mean, Atreyu, the character already exists.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that story never ended.
Dad.
Dad.
You're the dad.
I love it.
I'll give you some jokes.
So you were scream singing. That's fun.
That's right. Yeah. And I just found out just yesterday that someone has like found our stuff and compiled it on a YouTube video, like our whole discography with like photos of shows and stuff.
Stop it.
And I could not believe it because we played like, I don't know, 5 or 10 shows in high school, and that's all we did. For that time. We like put out a couple CDs, but like we just like burned them ourselves.
Yeah.
Put them in like little lunch bags and like would draw on them or like do stamps and stuff.
That's cool,
Cute.
yeah.
I love that.
So I can't believe that anybody even knows about us still.
I mean, it
we're
must
gonna
have been
put
one of
that-
your
Yeah.
classmates or something,
That
right?
link
Show
will be in the
notes.
show
No,
notes.
it's some unknown person. Yeah.
That
What?
is
It's so weird.
so wild and cool. And once again, the internet sometimes just like
The internet
randomly
wins.
comes through for you, and you're like, how?
Yeah.
But that's cool too, because I mean, that would have been what, like pre 2000?
Yeah, it was like
2000-ish?
2000. Yeah, it was like 2000. 1999, 2000, I think.
I mean, it's kind of amazing to have any sort of record because, like, I mean, obviously, before MySpace, before like really any, I mean, it was hard to upload music to the
Yeah.
internet then.
Yeah.
Everyone wasn't walking around with a video camera in their pocket all the time. So like, yeah, I mean, that's like, what a gift.
I'm trying to understand like how they even got access to these files because I think they're only available on CD. I don't think they're like uploaded to the internet anywhere. So
Well,
it's
they
really-
received
I mean,
the
they
CD
must
at
have
school.
had they must have
Yeah.
had your CD.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is nuts and like so.
I love
cool.
it.
Yeah, my mind was blown.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Well,
cool.
it meant something
really
to somebody.
cool,
It
man.
must like feel kind of good.
Yeah. Oh,
so
super good.
and you don't know the person.
I don't.
Did
No
they just-
idea who
That's
the person
amazing.
is. Yeah, it's just.
Well, if you're
Someone cool.
listening,
They are. They're
If you're
listening right
listening,
now.
person.
They are.
Thank you,
you,
mystery
listening.
uploader.
Yeah, thank you.
It's the principal. He felt bad. He's just like,
That
I'm
would
gonna
be amazing.
do it right. Full circle.
I hope it was. That'd be so cool.
So then like what happened next?
So around that time, I also started to do more acoustic guitar kind of stuff because in that band Atriata, I was playing electric guitar for that band, so I was starting to get better.
What kind of guitar was that?
That was my Epiphone Les Paul Special.
the one,
That's
yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
Les Paul Special
Nice.
2. I started with that, and then my end of junior year, I got my Eagle Scout badge, and as a birthday, Christmas Eagle Scout congratulations, I got a Gibson SG. So
Nice.
Nice.
The
So
Gibson
great.
patch.
nice guitar, yeah,
Yeah.
with the hard shell case and everything, and that was really cool.
Yeah.
to like
That's
finally.
amazing. What color was it?
It's like burgundy
Yeah.
brown. Like it's supposed to be the cherry one, but this particular one, it's really faded. So it's just very like brown. It's like I got a really cool color that
That's
I
awesome.
haven't seen on other SGs.
What did you do now that you had like the nice guitar?
I had to get a nice amplifier, of course.
That's right.
So I saved up and I got like a Marshall half stack.
Yep.
And
Yeah, you
my
did.
opposing bandmate, he had this one that was called the PV Butcher, which is like
Yeah.
120 or 140 watts. It's like more than what I had. So it was crazy loud, and I couldn't hear myself in practice. So I got another half stack just to try and keep up, but honestly, it still wasn't enough.
Whoa.
So I had all that, but then when I went to college, I had to sell most of it because
Takes up a lot of the
'cause
door.
two
Takes
half
up
stacks
room.
would
Yeah,
be-
2 half stacks. That's just unwieldy once you get after 18, I guess.
So funny.
That is so funny. Yeah, you're like, well, I mean, I gotta like be louder. It's gotta go to 11.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And was that still with Atriata or was that with like?
Yeah, that was still
Yeah.
Atriata, yeah. And then
Because you got that classical. You said you started going back to that.
and then so yeah, at the same time, while I was doing all this screamy kind of music, I was like, oh, I want to do, more folksy kind of stuff, like the opposite end of the spectrum. I was listening to like Nick Drake,
Yes.
Yes,
like
dude.
The
Daniel
magic words.
Johnston and some like emo bands like Pedro the Lion I was really
yeah.
into, and Joan of Arc, American Football. So I was trying to do kind of like emo folky kind of stuff. So that's
Yeah.
one of
Love
the songs I'll play is one of those ones.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear it.
You ready to hear it?
Oh,
Yeah.
I would love to. What's it called?
The song is called Protocol, and my project at the time I called it Days Till Summer.
Oh,
Sweet.
My emo band name.
I like that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh man, I just realized there's like three other bands I didn't talk about, but that's okay.
No, talk about them real quick.
Okay. Well, the other one that I had that was like kind of emo-y, pop punky was called Skeeter after that
Doug?
show Doug.
Doug, yeah.
Skeeter.
And that one I had with my high school girlfriend and the drummer from Ground Zero.
Cute.
That was a fun one.
High school couple band sounds pretty great.
It was it was fun,
Skeeter.
and she was also the other bassist in the orchestra. So
Oh,
that
sweet.
was like really cool.
Is that how you met?
We met in junior high school, and then because the first chair cello guy was way better than I was, and I was like, I'll never be first chair. I was like, well, can I be the first chair bass? And the school director was down with that, so it's like, okay, I'm done with cello. I'm going to be upright bass now. Yeah, at least for the orchestra.
I like that you're like, well, I'm just going to have to change the context if I can't be the best at this.
I feel like I'm always just trying to be number one. If I'm in number two position.
Yeah.
Like number two to my sister at piano, and then the cello.
But then your girlfriend was also playing bass?
She was like happy to not be first chair.
Oh, gotcha.
It was both of us, together. So it
You
was
shared the first chair.
We shared the chair. Yeah,
That's great.
Aw.
it was really a stool because we were like.
I was going to say, we don't really sit. Yeah. That's awesome. So Skeeter.
Skeeter, yeah. Oh man, Skeeter. That was fun. We did this one project for English class. I can't remember the name of the book. Maybe it was The Bluest Line. But we did this video. It was like a music video where we had all these illustrations, kind of like that Bob Dylan one where he rips off the paper and shows different lyrics. But it was like different scenes from the book. And we recorded a song. I thought it was so cool because we did it in 7/4 time.
Yeah.
So had an extra one less step or something. That was probably our coolest thing that we did.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
We got an A+ on the
Hell yeah.
project.
I should hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ambitious.
I know. Do you have that song?
Oh, I wish I still had that VHS tape. I have no idea what happened to it. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
Oh, I know.
forever.
Right. That's the other thing about the era is it's like, yeah, somebody maybe has that VHS tape, like one of your bandmates or I don't know,
Or their
maybe the
moms.
teacher or
The
something.
English teacher probably has it.
Yeah. But
So sad.
Let's hear this Nick Drake song.
Okay, yeah.
Days Till Summer,
Days Till
right?
Summer,
Days Till
yeah.
Summer.
Is the name of the
It's
project.
the name of the project, and the song is called Protocol. Hopefully, I remember it all. It's time we group together to save ourselves. We've only got the world, and while it's been time, we still wait. I'd like to inspire a few, but I'm only good for one. It's time we listened up. It's time we made a difference. And while it seems we'll start to form, this perfect circle is hardly what's in store. We've got packages of broken hearts, heavy sacks of good for nuts, shopping bags that aren't filled with what they're there for. Let's study up and we can fight with what we've learned. That's it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, your voice sounds
That's
great. That
pretty cool.
guitar sounds really good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Wow.
It's sweet.
I
And
love
what's
that.
what's it about?
I think it's like a call to action, I guess. I might have been a little bit political at the time, like in a political mind state. I've like reviewing the lyrics now, I feel like it's kind of appropriate for the times, even. Like we got to get out and do something.
It's funny how it feels like everything has changed, and then you're like, oh, nothing's changed.
Honestly, like going back to these songs, like the way that I used to write guitar parts, it was just a lot more complicated than I do it now. It's like all these like pull-ups and like hammer-on movements.
Yeah, what were those chords? Like I was keeping an eye. We weren't rolling on that, were we?
Your hand was like stretched across
you
like
were doing
6
some
frets at one
cool
point.
chords.
Yeah, I used to just like try and invent chords. I mean, I'm sure I didn't, but I thought I was at the time. And I was just trying to do like really weird hand positions to like, oh, is that like a viable chord?
That's
Maybe.
interesting. I feel like Elliott Smith kind of had something like that too, where he'd just kind of like, oh, what if I did this? You know, like with his chords and stuff.
I think that's something that's kind of neat about, you know, what you do when you're inventing something like as a young person. You are trying to stretch yourself and you're just kind of like playing, experimenting, like, so whether you actually invented the chord or not, I mean, it was new to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, yeah, sure, why not?
It's awesome that you're like exploring beyond like what the guitar could do. You're just like, let me see what more I can get out of it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have any lessons on guitar, so it was all just noodling around and figuring it out. And
but it's also the cello, because like, you know, that's a whole different way of thinking of strings.
Yeah.
But I mean, you also probably had a decent amount of theory knowledge from all those cello lessons. Or
Yeah, a little
orchestra.
bit. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much of the theory stuff I would have retained at that time, but I definitely had some, and like at least subconscious knowledge of, you know, like harmony and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
That's so cool.
I love that one.
Thank you.
So yeah, where did that one go?
Where did it go?
Yeah. Where did it take you?
Where did it take me? I mean, it took me to new ideas, new like places on the guitar.
Away from Screamo?
Away from Screamo. Yeah, it like helped me express a different side of myself. And maybe it was a side that my friends made fun of, but that was okay. Like I can't always be, you know, a hardcore like macho person. Sometimes it's good to be soft and like cry and stuff.
That's powerful. There's power and vulnerability.
Yes, and I think that's also like, right, because when you're in high school, there's not maybe as much freedom to kind of express like a wide range of emotions. And I think like especially as a boy, and I can see where it would be like, these are the acceptable emotions to express. These are the acceptable ways to like be emotional. It's like anger, indignation, maybe some kind of like passion, but like certainly not like sadness or I don't know, love that's like too sappy or something.
Yeah.
But this actually sounds like a lot more like what your more current stuff is, much more in the vibe.
Yeah, I was like really surprised to like come back and then realize how little I've changed, I guess.
But that was the beginning.
But it was the beginning.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Maybe it was like, maybe I'm on a, you know, I went back around the circle or something.
Full circle.
Or you like
full
found
circle.
your sort of like authenticity early, maybe.
Yeah, and I just never let it go.
So after high school, what happened then? Did you go to music school or anything like that?
Yeah, after high school, I went to USC for college, and that's where I made a lot of friends and connections.
Brought you down to LA.
Brought me down to LA. Oh, it's so funny. There's like another song from this era, and the lyrics kind of like are me thinking about what's gonna happen in LA. And like I remember one of the lines is like, something moved to LA 4 years hopefully. It's like, oh, just graduate and like move on after that, because I really didn't think I was going to end up in LA. But no.
Well, being from Northern California, you probably were like, oh, LA sucks.
I did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, why would I want to go down here? Like, what am I doing?
Right.
So funny.
So were you studying music there?
No, I was a geography major in college actually.
wow.
But I did music industry as my minor, so technically, I guess
yeah.
I was sort of studying music.
That's cool. What were you learning like in music industry?
Like how to put on events and like manage things. I took some recording engineering classes too.
Cool.
That's
Same.
why I wanted to be a recording engineer going at USC, but the year that I joined, they had stopped that program, so you couldn't do that as a major, and then they started it up like 3 or 4 years later, like really soon
that's annoying.
afterwards.
Oh man.
It was really annoying. So I was like, well, this is like the one thing I can do is music industry, so I'll do that. And then I originally came in as a math major, but I could not keep up with like college math. It was way more difficult.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
So then I just took whatever classes like the professors liked me, and the geography department was really small and they're really helpful and kind. So
That's so
that's
cool.
nice.
So the geography, I'm so curious, like what was the stuff like you learned in geography? Like just about maps or just like
a little bit about maps. There's like one like geography information sciences class that my eyes glazed over on. The parts that I was interested in, there's like a couple geographers who were postmodern geographers. So they would talk about how like place and affects like how you are or like who you are.
Ooh.
So we would like think about like the layout of buildings in LA and how, you know, like if some areas didn't have as much park space as others, like how that would affect that population.
Oh, that's like urban planning.
Yeah, it's kind of like urban planning and just like thinking about how space affects people.
do you feel like that's had an influence on your songs and your lyrics?
I wonder.
Well, maybe your process.
Yeah, maybe my process. Definitely, I feel like it taught me like a lot about empathy and like thinking about other people and like how things affect other people.
Yeah.
So it kind of like broadened my perspective, I would say. I don't know if it like had any real like melodic effect on my music
Or like lyrics?
or lyrics. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I think the empathy
The
part.
empathy is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Yeah, geography, it's not about the thing, it's about the people that the geography affects.
Well, right. I'm like, if it's a whole major, it can't just be about like, you know,
Maps.
the
Just maps.
the names of rivers in
capitals
Europe or
and-
something.
yeah.
Yeah, right. That doesn't feel like that would take 4 years.
So that's the Earth.
Yeah.
All right,
There
it's
it
all
is.
passed.
According to all the current political boundaries.
Yeah, right.
So, okay. So, I mean, like, I assume you were playing music.
But I was still
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
music, yeah. So I was just doing like casual days till summer kind of stuff, recording demos like on my computer with the laptop mic. And then like junior year, I met this guy, Pat Taylor, who is kind of like a genius on the bass, and we connected over Magic Cards and Cap and Jazz and Joan of Arc. So we started a band called Cossack in college, which was fun. We like played a bunch of house shows. We were like signed to our schoolmate's label that he started called
that's cool.
Strike Through Records, and
Yeah.
they had us go out to Chicago and we recorded an EP. So that was really
In Chicago?
really cool. In Chicago,
Oh,
yeah.
that's neat.
Nice.
The label guy, he was from Chicago and he had interned at this recording studio that do you know the band that sings that song Born to Be Down?
Oh, yeah.
Dang,
that is ringing a bell.
Now, born to be
Yes.
down.
Yes.
It's
Oh
like-
my God. It's on the tip of my tongue.
We'll have to look that one up.
Yeah,
later, but-
no.
Show notes.
I'm actually going to look
Show
at
notes? Is
I
that what you
don't.
said?
Show notes.
Yeah,
It'll be
put
in the
in the
show notes
the
of
show
your
notes.
episode. Yeah.
Local H.
Local H. How did you know that?
Local
That's
H.
amazing.
I was going to say local H.
You know
I was saying it the whole time.
Wait, so I'm sorry. So what about Local H?
Oh, they were like the biggest band that recorded at this studio. So
Oh.
I was really stoked to go record there.
Oh, yeah.
It's
You were like,
yeah.
oh my
Local H
God.
recorded there?
Yeah.
Was Cossack just you and bassist? Like-
It was, yeah, I played guitar, Pat played bass, and then we had a couple of different drummers throughout the
so like a
time.
3-piece.
Yeah, it was a 3-piece. There's one point where we had another guitarist, this guy John, who's like really. You thought that was stretching. You should have seen this guy. He would do like
Across 9 frets.
eight,
You're
yeah,
like,
9
what?
fret.
How?
And because he was in the jazz program at USC, so was Pat. So they're very talented, and
See-
they helped me
Yeah.
step up. my
What kind of
game.
music was Cossack?
It was like math rock, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Math rock. Yeah, we did a lot of counting. Like,
I did a lot of counting.
different time signatures, like different,
Kind of
weird
like
rhythms.
Tool kind of math rock, or
Yeah, but faster, way faster than Tool. But I
Take
like
that,
Tool.
Tool.
Yeah, Enema was such a. I was just
Yeah.
listening to that on my way up to Pat's wedding last month. Actually,
Hey,
Last
congratulations,
CD,
Pat.
That's a great album,
Pat.
honestly. And I think like this is the true value of like going to music school or going to art school is that you're just like, first of all, it's basically your job as a student to study the thing. And so you're just spending all of your time,
Oh yeah.
playing music, and you have all these like resources like practice rooms and a computer lab or whatever. You have all the resource. But more than that, the human resource of being around all of these
finest.
other people
Yeah.
that love what you love and are generally like pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Or even if you're not like in the music program, there's a music program. Those kids all had to audition. So they're all like pretty
They're all
good.
good
in
enough.
it.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like ditto with art, it's just like the opportunity to just do it all the time for like 4 years and then be with a bunch of other people who are equally like lit up about it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, but like no, I just like
Thanks, man.
but yeah, like playing, and also like kind of the opportunity to be around like people who also want to do something like kind of nerdy, like your crazy time signatures and like what can we try now?
Yeah.
And it must have felt cool to be like, oh, we're going to another city to record.
Oh,
Like,
it was so cool.
Oh,
yeah.
First time to Chicago, or
Yeah, it was my first time in
Nice.
Chicago. It was really dumb. We like booked, I booked the flights, and then we're like, oh, if you fly to Wisconsin after Chicago, the tickets are cheaper. But so we did that flight, and then we just got off on Chicago thinking, we're just not going to get on the other flight. And then I didn't know, like, if you don't get on your other flight, then they cancel the whole round trip ticket.
Oh, no.
So when we were flying back, we got to the airport, and we're like, oh, like we're ready to get on the plane. And they're like, no, those tickets aren't good because you canceled your trip when you got off in Chicago on the way there.
No, that's what happens. I always wondered.
no,
Yeah.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah,
That's a bummer,
interesting.
especially for like a 20-year-old kid. You're like, oh, shit.
So you had to get new flights at the airport.
So we had to get new
then?
flights at the
Mom.
airport, but at least like we didn't pay for the recording session. So that was
That's cool.
Great.
the caveat. Yeah.
Was that like a call to mom? Like,
Yeah.
Wait, so like, where's the recording of that?
yeah.
Oh,
to
that's on the internet somewhere, I'm sure.
nice.
Actually, it might not be. I have a CD somewhere. Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. Like, what year would that have been?
That was 2004.
Oh, yeah. That would have been a bit early to be on the internet.
Yeah.
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 It's just the beginnings
I mean-
of MySpace.
Maybe it was 2006 then. We definitely had MySpace at the time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we had a MySpace. It's
I
hard
mean,
to remember that.
you probably did.
we had to.
2006,
Why
you
wouldn't
had a
2006,
MySpace. Yeah.
Everyone did.
And then-
Especially as a music industry minor. I'm
Right?
sure you're
Yeah.
on top of all of that.
Yeah. That, I mean, you had to.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what was your kind? You like released it, I assume, or
Yeah,
just,
we
like,
released it and we played some more house shows. We also did another EP Pat's senior year, and we got a sync for some like internet ad, like for like Dickies or one of those like shoe
Nice.
companies. Yeah, so we like made a
Yeah.
little money that way, and that was super cool. But we just kind of fizzled after Pat graduated because he went on to bigger and better things.
Right, that makes sense.
Where'd he go?
He's the current touring bassist for Noah Cyrus.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
Nice.
amazing.
He was like on American Idol, like that band.
Oh, cool.
Oh, he was like
And,
the house band.
Yeah.
Oh,
on
that's
tour.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so
He's
sick.
a
Yeah.
real pro.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pro.
Yeah. He's
Yeah, shout out.
That's really cool. Well, like so then what came next for you?
So after we broke that band up, eventually he did come to his senses to play music with me again. Our mutual friend
Very
James was the primary songwriter for this band called Free Camp. And so we did that for a few years. I played bass guitar in that band, and I co-wrote a couple songs. They're kind of like Motowny, I guess. It was like
Nice.
indie rock and motown.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
how to describe that sound.
Indotown.
Well, is it like Fitz and the Tantrums, kind of like?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like that, but way more lo-fi, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah. So we did that, and then eventually started this other band called Basement Babies with my
I like that.
friends Kate and Mally and Andy. And that one was really cool because I was still playing bass, and Andy and we grew up together, but we weren't really friends in high school, even though we went to the same school, and we started playing music more after college. And so he and I just had this long time connection where, like, when you play, I would just know what he was going to play, and he likewise for me. So we would just do these really crazy jams, and Kate would bring her like journal and just like sing poetry over it. And we were very influenced by like Fleetwood Mac and like Sonic Youth. That was like the combo.
Oh,
that
cool.
we
Wow,
wanted to do
cool
for that.
combination.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that was like a really fun band to play in. We got to open shows for like Ramona Gonzalez of what's it called? Night Jewel. Have you heard of it?
yeah.
Night Jewel and Puro Instinct. Do you remember them from LA? From like
That sounds so
it's like
familiar.
a duo of sisters, and like they did a song with Ariel Pink.
yeah,
okay.
that's
Yeah,
where I've
Still
heard the
Yagi.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was cool to like feel like I was part of the scene, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, we're like kind of doing it. And we were the backing band for this guy, James Ferraro, who he opened for Real Estate. And that was like probably the peak coolness of that band. We got to open for Real Estate.
When you'd play venues around town, like what were drop some LA haunts?
I mean, I live like right down the street from the Echo.
Yeah.
So
Lucky.
Echoplex,
Yeah.
Airspace, The Smell, Echo Curio.
Yeah, Echo
I
Curio.
loved Echo Curio.
I feel like there's like been like 3 or 4 different venues just on that one block
Yeah.
that have changed over. But that
The
was like
FYF
my area.
block.
The yeah, exactly. I was like at the
Right.
first FYF fest.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, that was so crazy. Like Bob Odenkirk.
Tex.
Yeah, Tex,
Yeah.
exactly.
Tex.
Yeah. Oh man, that's right. We played Tex before. Oh, you guys are really bringing me back. Wow.
Yeah,
I know.
that's
Is that
the
the
French
era, you know?
Dude, it was a
Yeah, it's
good
the French
time.
place, yeah.
Like, you know, because this is like what, like 2008?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it was like 2011.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a few years. Because I lived in Culver City for a little bit before I moved to Echo
Dude,
Park.
2011, like that was for me like kind of peak era for like LA local music, or
Yeah.
at least I maybe just my awareness and involvement in it. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was so dope, and there were so many venues, and it was like before freaking Garcetti shut down all the like DIY ones.
Yeah.
because you know, like that was his thing as a councilman, was like
Just to shut him
is
down.
being a total bummer. Yeah.
Damn you, Garcetti.
But there were so many cool. Yeah, there was like Echo Curio and Pearspace and Echo Country Outpost for a while.
Yeah.
Oh man, and then Non Plus Ultra actually still
Yeah, Non
exists,
Plus
but they
Ultra.
they
Yeah,
had
shout
to
out Nick.
but they
Played
had
there
to
too.
change locations a couple times.
Yeah, that's right.
There was so like it was so alive, and like, you know, Silver Lake Lounge was popping, Monday
Yep.
night
Oh, yeah, Silver Lake
residencies.
That's when I worked there in 2011.
Oh, you did? At Silver Lake Lounge?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And the satellites.
And the satellites.
Well, yeah.
Spaceland.
Spaceland.
The
Spaceland.
Satellite, the Echo, and Bootleg all had Monday night residencies.
Oh, yeah.
I
That
also
was
worked
so
at
sick.
Bootleg.
Bootleg.
It's like there's so many
oh.
fun free
Yeah.
shows at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
That was
Oh yeah,
Golden
Silver Lake
age.
Lounge would do Monday night residencies too. Like what a time to be alive.
And that was right around the time when you became Tomemitsu, right?
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've always been Tomemitsu.
Technically,
What
yes.
is your middle name? I learned.
But yeah, 2013, 2012, I like broke up with a girlfriend, and then I just started writing a bunch more solo music.
That'll do it.
And yeah, right. I was like, I wrote this song in dreams,
Dude.
and then I submitted it to this Portals blog. They had like a compilation, so I sent it to them, and they really liked it, and they put it on their compilation. And then stuff started happening for me after that. It was really cool.
That song's amazing. My wife found it in 2020 during COVID.
No way.
So 7 years later, and we listened to it all the time. Before I knew who you were, before you played Kelsey's residency, and Seriously, it was like on rotation at our house.
That's
yeah, he was talking about this
amazing.
earlier before
Really?
you got
It's
here.
such a vibe. That
that
song
makes
is a
me
vibe.
sad.
Everyone pause the
Yeah.
podcast right now and go listen to In Dreams.
Yes, please.
But come back.
Put in
then.
the show
Yeah,
notes.
welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Yeah, it'll be in the
look
show
in the
notes.
show
Oh,
notes.
Show notes.
question about that song. We were wondering, is there like a kind of analog like hiss in there or like some kind of like
Is it on tape?
record? Like,
Well-
how'd you get that sound?
I just used my MacBook Pro and I put it on the coffee table and
So
I
it's
just
Oh, it's the mic.
Recorded like
the
so that's the
motor
room.
of
You're hearing.
the,
No, you're hearing the
yeah,
room.
you're like hearing the
air.
fan.
Like literally.
Yeah, like
Yeah. Wow,
a lot
that's
of
the room
times
tone.
for that record, I would like leave the door open just to capture like
That's so
random
sweet.
stuff happening. Like you can hear a cell phone going off during that song. You can hear like the plane fly over during another part.
And
I was
you know
really
what?
into incorporating ambience into it.
ambience, but also incorporating the geography.
yeah.
Full circle. We got there.
So it
Yeah.
was happening this whole
I
time.
knew there was an influence. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, USC geography.
Amazing, dude.
No, I love that as
It sounds so good.
like a stylistic choice of like,
Yeah.
no, I want to hear the room around me, because usually it's the opposite. You're like,
Oh,
let
yeah.
me make sure that no extraneous sounds get into this.
It's like a natural, feedback kind of like situation. It's just like, it sounds so rich and warm and analog.
See, here we thought it was bounced to tape.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably should have done
Fooled
something
us.
like that, but
No, it's way cooler the way you have it. It's like such a vibe.
Yeah.
I would change zero about that recording.
Yeah. I'm kind of mad because I'm like, how did I snooze on your project for so long?
Same.
Because yesterday I got up super early, like before I had to be at work, so I could like have some time to research for this ridiculous day that we're doing today. and I, because it was super early in the morning, I was like, let me go with the guy that seems a little more mellow. So I just like listened through your whole discography and I was like, this is such a vibe. But I was also just like, where the fuck has he been all my life? Like, or where have I
like,
been?
I've been
I guess.
there on
Yeah.
Spotify.
No,
Echo Park.
Echo Park and Spotify.
where have I been is the question. That song is great. I mean, your new stuff is great. Like, and well, because your new record is Dreams too, right?
Yeah, it's called Dream 2. Yeah. But it's kind of a play on words because the second song is Do You Dream Too? Is the name of it. And it's my second album for Friends of Friends. So it's kind of like a pun in my head
like
of some
it.
sorts. I don't know if that's really a pun, but
Kind of.
Wordplay.
wordplay.
it's punny.
Yeah, I'm really into wordplay.
Wordplay is math for words.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
why.
That's right.
It's math. Of play.
I mean, is it like a callback to In Dreams or a
in a way,
reference,
yeah.
I suppose?
I mean, I think for this record specifically, I was really trying to think about things that I liked growing up, like as a 10 to 14-year-old kid. So I would think about like my first CD was Nirvana Nevermind. So I think
Good one.
that like Something in the Way probably has a
my
big
God.
influence on my guitar playing.
Oh, that's
And that has
super,
cello
yeah.
too, like on the unplugged version.
Yeah, that's a
Because
gorgeous
gosh, he
recording.
recorded that in like the studio, like Butch Vig. Like what was it? There's a whole story about how they recorded that. That reminds me of how you recorded your song. So
Oh,
which is-
really?
yeah, because it
gotta
was
look
just
into
like
that.
super like because he sang it really like he barely like made sound.
Yeah.
With it. So everything was you can hear like all this sort of like air around him.
Oh, wow.
in
Oh
that
yeah, they
recording.
probably had to like
crank it
crank up the
Yeah.
mic, yeah, because it's kind of whispery and
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, that's so interesting.
That
I
is a
love
beautiful
that
song,
shit.
though.
Yeah.
I like
so pretty.
me and my old roommate saw Butch Vig out, like we were at Edendale, and we were just like,
You know what? I did same starstruck.
well, we were
Yeah.
freaking out. And then what's really funny is that she started going like every week on the same day, like hoping to see him again.
That's hilarious.
And eventually she did. Well, 'cause she was like, I can't believe we didn't talk to him. And she just was like, hi.
I'm a fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
No, he's awesome. Like I saw him at Bellwether, and I'm like, I should say hi and thanks for everything, but I didn't. So I'll say it now. Thank you, Butch Vig.
Thank you.
Yeah,
He's listening.
for
Actually.
some of
Yeah.
the best rock albums ever made. That's like an interesting reference too, because I mean, it's just not the first song people think of when they hear when they think Nirvana either. You know,
Probably not
It's
even
like,
on a list of 10.
yeah, right. It's like a deeper cut, but it's so good.
It's so good. Yeah.
I love your collab with Steady Holiday,
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
and I think it's cool that you put out
Waiting for
two
that.
versions too. And I love that you're like, well, the first one we just like we're kind of in a hurry to get it out by Valentine's Day. It's like so relatable.
There's
Where you're
that
like,
music industry minor.
yeah, so relatable. But I love that you're like, well, let's just put out another version though. And I mean, I like her a lot too. But
Yeah, she's
I
got
noticed like
amazing
you
voice.
work with a lot of women.
Yeah, I mean, I've always, I guess, have had really great musical relationships with females, I guess. So I'm constantly trying to find people to fill that role, I guess, because it's very inspiring to like have a different perspective and to like vibe off of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just always think of like the Weezer songs where it was like Rivers and like the girls singing, and I loved those harmonies.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that's probably why I'm just trying to like.
But also,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I just
you
wanna be like
mentioned
Weezer.
Sonic Youth and
Sonic-
Fleetwood
oh, yeah.
Mac,
Oh, yeah.
and, you know.
Yeah, that's right. There's like been
Yeah.
a lot of male-female bands that have influenced me. So I guess it's conscious and subconscious.
Yeah, I mean, I love that too. Like, I love songs that have like both a male and a female vocal. There's just something about it that feels, like balance. I don't know, filled out maybe.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like, so you just put out that latest record pretty recently, right?
Yeah, it just came out last Friday.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
congrats.
It's a week old today.
That's actually more recently than I thought.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Let's see. Is there anything you want to play us from the newer release?
Yeah, I'd love to play a song from the new album. I'll do a version of the song A Little Light on You. When the wind blows in and it's cool outside and there's just barely light, then the night crawls in and the sun sets down to reveal the Milky Way. And the hills go blue, and the light shines down with the moon so true. Like a spotlight on you, on you. Light on you, on you. Dew on the grass is fresh and gone as seconds pass. The birds chirping away. Come and get some friends. There's enough for all of us. Till the sun comes up, we can feast like kings. We can live like royalty. But oh, the morning bells will have wanderers always. Let's fly high. Let's soar low. My life, there's a little light on you, on you, little light on you, on you, on you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, man, it was so fun to just like do a deep dive into your discography in preparation for this. And thank you for all the wonderful stories and for explaining so much about geography.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Of course.
Congrats
such a
on the new
treat.
release.
Thanks.
Yeah. Check them out everywhere.
Check it out. Dream
Nice.
2. Woo.
I believe this episode may have a record of full circle moments. Not that we're counting, but Terence was on fire in this session, connecting all the dots. And I learned something, postmodern geography, what a fascinating and important discipline. I'll post some links in the show notes. Hey, do peep that new album and the rest of Tomemitsu's discography. You should definitely get that new record, Dreams 2, on vinyl, because vibes, it's winter now. Get you a hot drink, get cozy, and listen to the whole damn thing. Maybe if you're lucky, he'll put out some more new tunes soon, but I guess you'll just have to follow him on all the things to stay on top of that. You can follow us as well. We'll put all the links in the show notes, including where you can buy the vinyl, so do take a look. As always, we appreciate a follow, rate, and review if you like what you hear. We've got a couple more episodes coming your way, so stay tuned, and we will see you next week.